Gilbert Council meeting of Tuesday, February 23rd, 2021. Can we have the roll call by the city clerk?
Councillor Skinsich.
Here.
Councillor Polis.
Here.
Councillor Heitzman.
Here.
Let the record show Councillor Heitzman is joining us via Zoom. Councillor Leone is absent with notice. And Mayor Oberstar.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we established a quorum. Would you all rise and help me open with this Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the United States of America and
the
to
republic for which it stands,
one nation,
God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Council, we have two additions to tonight's agenda. First of all is approve for attorney and clerk to negotiate with Wendy Flanagan for the city of Gilbert selected by the campground board as a campground host for coming 2021. And second is support of Northeast Minnesota Mine Tour Project with $1,000 donation and matching contribution and letter of support to the IRRB in their behalf. So I need council.
I'll second.
Moved by Councillor Skinsich, supported by Councillor Polis. Any more discussion? Councillor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Polis.
Aye.
Councillor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. All right, they're added. All right, approve February 9, 2021 City Council working session minutes.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Motion by Councillor Skinsich, supported by Councillor Heitzman. Any more discussion? Corrections, deletions, or additions? Councillor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Heitzman.
Aye.
Councillor Polis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Regular council meeting of February 9, 2021.
I'll move. I'll support.
Moved by Councillor Skinsich, supported by Councillor Heitzman. Any more discussion, corrections, deletions, or additions? Councillor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Heitzman.
Aye.
Councillor Polis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. All right, we have public input. Anybody in the audience tonight on the phone or on Zoom have anything they wish to discuss with the council? We have one at the podium, Mr. Leo Skirbick. Leo?
On behalf of the Water and Light Board, I'm appearing before the council. And I would like to have something clarified by either action or understanding. The board requested to have a meeting with Sam Lotiger to review the status of the homes and businesses in town on water meters and electric meters. And we were told to the office that Sam was not available. Now, it is my opinion, we're trying to do research so that we can come forth with recommendations to the council. We're looking at the reason we're doing this, and we're in consensus, all 5 of us agreed that we need to do some research, button down some information, and pass it on to the council so we make good decisions, because the meters we're gonna be getting now, starting, I believe, this summer, they run about $200 a piece. Now, the information I have, it's hearsay, but to the best of my knowledge, we're looking at about 835 meters according to staff. And we're contesting that there's quite a bit of leeway as to how many meters we should actually be getting. Now, I know we're going to be getting probably, say, 50 spares or somewhere in that vicinity, but it's a big ticket item, and we'd like to do the research so we can come to the council and recommend exactly how many meters and what type of meters we have. Now, if you don't want us to do that work, we're all fine. We'll back off, resign, and you guys can run it the way you want. It's an issue. We feel that city employees are at the behest of the council, and we as a board are advisory to the council. We would like to continue that process where we'd like to be informed and make good judgments. I will request another meeting to start off with Sam, because he has a lot of input, but he is an employee of the city, as is the rest of the staff. And in order to make good decisions, we need good information. It is our contention, being in the blind, that we don't know if these are good decisions or not, and we would like to button them down before the meters are installed, not after they're installed. I was told through the office that Sam wants to just order, they're ordered, they're in place. Well, there's several issues there. Number one, how many meters? Number two, what type of meters? The city of Gilbert has basically at least 3 or 4 different types of meters that are out there. I've been driving up and down through the alleys. There's a lot of discrepancies, and now is the time to address them, not after. After the meters are here, it's too late. They're way too expensive. And to give you an example, we have some homes that have 5 meters on them when they should have 1, possibly 2. That's a $1,000 investment by the city, no payback. There are some that have 3. There's some that have 4. There's some that have 1 when they probably should have 2. We have old homes, pre-1980, we used to have a lot of electric meters because there was a cheaper rate for electricity for hot water tanks. Then that evolved, and now we have one rate. I believe it's 9 cents for the homeowner and 11 cents for business per kilowatt. We have to address those issues, button them down, present them to the council so that you can make a good decision what route you're going to go. I also learned now that because of COVID, theoretically, now Mayor Carl made a statement that there will be no estimates because that's not a good way to do it. The city is working in the dark. I just found out that the school, which is the biggest customer, has been estimated. Why? COVID is not an excuse. I'm sorry, that should be addressed. It's things like that that we would like to sit down right here. We don't want to take nothing out of the office, but we want to sit down and investigate and button down so we can give you guys good advice so it's a good decision. There's a lot of money involved. Just for an example, if we were to say order 50 or 100 meters less, that's $10,000 to $20,000 less on the overall bill. That's a big ticket item to me as a taxpayer. So these are the things we're addressing. We are requesting the council to, one way or the other, do you want us to do the research or not? And if not, then we'll just back off and you can do it on your own. Thank you.
Thank you, Leo. I got a question on our bid that we have with the meter folks. I've talked to Leo before the meeting. If these houses have got 4 or 5 different meters for whatever reason, I don't know if that's true or whatever, or they should have 2 instead of 1, like in the garage or whatever. Those types of things should be looked into. I don't know if those people that we have a contract with changing meters, Core Main, if that was in the 800 meters or 850, was there a specified number or just to do the whole job for 300 or $500,000? What was that? How many meters were they going to change? Specified number?
I see we have John on the line here on Zoom.
Or
Perhaps he
just
can,
do the job, change the meters for this much money? Now, here's-
John should be able to answer these questions.
John,
Yeah, when the project was bid, we used the specs and everything we got from the Water and Light Board. And there's 895 3/4 inch meters, some 1 inch, some 2 inch, a couple 4 inch meters. So there's a variety of different sizes.
how about electric meters?
Yeah, and then there's 936 single phase meters and 23 multi-phase meters.
No.
Is what we bid in the project, and it's a unit price contract. So if we install, say, 20 electric meters less than what was planned, that's what the city should pay for.
So then Leo gives up a good point here that the Water and Light Board should go get together with Sam. I don't see what, I'm sure he doesn't want to give up his free time, but maybe on the job or free up some time on the job or allow him to spend 2 hours with them some other time and pay him for a service to get. Well, if he can.
Mr. Mayor, can I speak on that?
Yes.
Just to answer Leo's question, I guess I thought we did answer it pretty good. The thing is about sometime in January, it was either January or December when we went and read meters. We went around to each meter site and I had all of our personnel reading the meters, write what form type is on the electrical side. So that's how we determined what meters are going where. As Leo stated, there's probably about 10 different styles, if not more than 10 different forms of meters. And I gave all those numbers to Core and Main, and they took those numbers and converted them to what meters we needed. I believe our meters are going to be, they're stated to get delivered here March like 3rd, I believe.
Well, our meters are all going to be one type of meter, and that's all it's going to be.
Well, they are going to be, Mr. Mayor, they are going to be one type of meter. They're census meters. There's different forms. Basically, different forms mean if you have a 3-phase power coming into your house, if you have 60 amp power coming into your house, if you have just regular, your regular house is a normal form. It's a 2S. But there's different.
Yeah,
There's many different styles of them, and it has to deal with, I think, the power coming in.
Right.
But we did give all those numbers to Core and Main, and it's all kind of getting them installed.
I think what the Water and Light Board wants to do is to talk to you and to see if there's 3 or 4 at a certain piece of property.
Well,
And
there
if we can
is,
get
but
down to 1 instead of, why do we have 4 or 5?
But Mr. Mayor, it's not the city's issue that somebody has to change their meter base out. It's a homeowner issue. We don't get into meter bases. If the homeowner wants to hire an electrician to change out their service and go down to 1 meter base, that's the homeowner's decision, not the city's. For every meter that a homeowner has, if there's 5 meters on that wall, he is getting charged a base rate for each one of those meters. So, if the base rate is $15, he's getting charged $15 for each one of those meters. I got 2 meter bases at my house. I get charged $15 per meter base, the base charge, and plus the usage. So, and that's how it's been going on forever.
Okay.
We just provide power. We provide power.
Can we have one meeting with you and that committee and get this squared away?
Yeah, I have no problem. The day they picked, I am busy that day, so I couldn't show up. And like I say, we already had the meters. We already have them coming. So,
Okay, so
but
can
if
we-
they want to meet with me, I have no problem.
So let's get a meeting together and see if you guys can get this cleared up, all right?
Yep.
All right. You got something else, Leo?
It's our opinion that we should meet with, be it Sam, be it Jim, be it whoever, and whatever we do should stay here in the building. You know, we're not looking to take anything out or anything like
Well,
that.
I think.
But the important thing is, we have probably at least 4 different types of meters. And Sam says they're already ordered. Well, that may well be, but we should button down what the costs are, because they're not gonna be $200 a meter if it's a different type. The basic ones are probably $200 a unit. And the number, I personally, and I'm speaking for all 5 of us on the board, we are not comfortable with the number that either John or Sam presented. We would like to see for ourselves what the actual number is and where we're gonna be, what the cost is to the city. And it's big numbers, guys. I'm telling you, we're not looking at $500. We're probably looking at between $10,000 and $20,000 difference. To me, that's an item to address. Thank you.
Okay, I'm looking at the council. Well, we can poll you or we can have a motion or whatever. I'm okay with everybody working together for the benefit of the city here. This is for the benefit of the city. If it's worthy of doing this, let's do it, okay? So anybody got any objections to that? Having all the parties, Water and Light Board, Sam, Jim, Water and Light Clerk, get together until everybody's satisfied. No information that gets out of the building, it all stays here. And everybody puts whatever time into this. I see a couple nods on the council. Okay, here, Councilor Heitzman. We don't have to make a formal motion on this thing. You have the council approval. Councilor Heitzman, where are you here?
He's nodding yes.
He's out? He's out?
I'm good.
Okay, you're okay. The opinion of the council is to go forward with this. Everybody work together for the benefit of the city to save some money and get this all cleared up. All right? That's the consensus of the city council. I don't think we need to make it into a formal motion of an order of any kind, okay? Everybody agree, okay to that? Okay, anything else on the public input?
Separate question.
Yeah,
Where are you guys at with your cemetery land purchasing board or commission? That kind of seemed to drop off, so I'm just kind of wondering what you guys are doing with that.
there's a board been formed and they've met once and nothing to come to the council with, so.
You've met once. When was that made public?
It's a separate committee.
So it should still be public if
No, it's a
if
separate
citizens want to
committee working
meet.
for the city of Gilbert, negotiating. It's got 2 counselors on it and city attorney and city clerk.
The
So
city attorney and the city clerk can't be on a commission.
it's a committees I've created.
Okay, but they can be liaisons, but they can't be on it.
They're gonna bring whatever they just come to a solution to the city council and the city council will finalize everything.
Okay, so I have a huge issue with that because the whole point of this council and having the representatives here is transparency. And if you're doing private meetings about land purchases using public funds, there's a problem with that.
That'll come to the council at a council meeting and it'll be all in the open.
No, that's not how it works. It's supposed to be made public. I mean, am I off my rocker? Because here's the thing. I mean, am I wrong? Tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. If you look at any other board, commission, or committee, it is made public when that meeting happens. So that way, if there's anybody who wants to add to it as a taxpayer, which is their right,
It'll be made public when it comes to the council.
no, that's not transparent.
It's not transparent. Counselor.
So here's
legal
my other
counsel.
question, because you obviously know what you're doing.
I'll
Here's my other
revert
question.
Your question to our attorney.
Okay,
Mayor, with regard to the public status, it depends on the formality of the body that's assigned. In this case, what I understand is it's essentially kind of an exploratory body that's being sent out just to gather information. And then that would come back to the council. Specifically in terms of land sales, there are certain portions of those things that even when brought to public meetings can be held within closed meetings. That being said, all of the information or the ultimate results of anything that happened would have to come back before the council.
Of course.
so who's keeping minutes at these meetings? Because here's the other thing. The property that you want is zoned R2. Okay. So I feel like you're putting the cart before the horse by going and looking after a piece of property that's 11 times the market value, that is not even properly zoned for what you want to do with it. And it's not going to get rezoned because there's a reason why it's zoned the way it is. So I guess I don't understand why you need to have private meetings on land that's going to be used with taxpayer money.
No private meetings. It's a committee for working for people of Gilbert to bring to the city council at another meeting, city council meeting.
So if you're purchasing land for a cemetery expansion, why haven't you included the cemetery board?
There's one member of the cemetery board on there.
There's only one member on the cemetery board?
There's one member of the cemetery board on that committee.
Okay, so what's the point of having a cemetery committee if you're not going to include the whole cemetery
They have
committee?
nothing to do with purchasing land for city of Gilbert. That's a city council's decision.
Right, but they already made a recommendation.
When this council is done purchasing that land, and if this council wishes to give that property as a cemetery or as a residential area, then it'll be in their hands.
Right, but it's not even zoned for a cemetery.
If it's not zoned, it'll be zoned.
Planning and zoning isn't going to rezone it.
Council can rezone it. Planning and zoning is advisory board.
But what I'm saying is if you use the information, okay, we already pay almost 400,000. Are you going to talk over me or can I talk?
Go ahead.
The city is already paying almost $400,000 for the maintenance of the cemetery board. Now you're going to pay another almost $60,000+ for 8 acres when we already have 20 acres. Gilbronson is supposed to be doing the exploratory boring of the 20 acres to see what is usable of the 20 acres we already own. So why would you be looking into purchasing property that not only isn't zoned, but it would have to be completely differently prepped? It could cost hundreds of thousands of dollars because there's water lines, there's gas lines, there's fuel tanks, there's other things in the ground that are going to be hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money. So my question is if you have nothing to hide, why wouldn't you make the meeting public?
There's nothing to hide. Don't come around here trying to say we're trying to hide something. There's a committee that's going to work for the city of Gilbert, and they're going to come back and say, I'm going to be all at a public meeting here on all the details. So then you can come and ask questions then, again.
Right, but my point
What's there to
is,
hide? Nothing to hide.
well, then why not invite the public
That
to your
is
meetings?
That doesn't have to be open to the public. That is a committee working for the city of Gilbert.
But what I'm asking
Negotiating.
is for transparency.
We are
Because what I
transparent.
feel is that you've handpicked the people that you think will agree with you, and then you're going to push this project through, even though it's not in the best interest of the citizens of Gilbert.
I don't know about that.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. Because if we already have 20 acres, if you look at this logically, why would you move forward on a piece of property that's going to cost hundreds of thousands of acres to prep for a cemetery? If I had a house that didn't have a cemetery next to it and all of a sudden a cemetery popped up next to it, I would not be a happy taxpayer. That's why it's zoned the way it's zoned.
I only heard one objection, and that's yours. So
Would you like me to get a petition together? Because I'll gladly do that. I have about 500 people.
yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So are you gonna look at a petition if I bring you one?
We'll look at the petition. Yeah.
Okay. Because nobody wants that land for that cemetery.
You know, that's fine. We won't go there. We won't go up in that rock. We'll probably.
You don't know that there's rock.
In 2 years, we'll be able to have the cemetery up by the school up here.
It's not zoned for that.
That can be changed.
I know, but the whole point is that things are, have you spent any time at planning and zoning? Because things are zoned for a reason.
And things change through time.
Right.
Time.
But what I'm saying is, why would you move forward on a piece of property when we already have 20 acres that's going to be explored this spring? All I'm saying is look at it financially responsibly.
I'm looking at, we need room. The cemetery needs some more.
And we
land
have 20 acres.
of junk.
How do you know that?
That's what
I
I've been
haven't
told.
seen you up there digging lately. How do you know that it's junk?
The cemetery board already said you would have to fill the whole area.
They
to do-
don't
Yes.
know that. That's why we're doing bore samples in the spring.
No, not up there. We're doing it up in that quadrant up there.
We have 20 extra acres.
They're not boring that area.
Why wouldn't they bore that area to see what we have available to the city?
They say they already know what's up there.
I'd like to hear from other counselors. I really don't understand why you would move forward on something that is not even zoned for what your purpose is. Anybody else? No. See? Go ahead.
If I would do this, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Carl. Tell everybody how it is.
I have somebody waiting here that wants to get home, and I didn't think input was gonna take that long, but go ahead.
Well, who wants to go home?
This lady over here.
Okay. Well, you said she's the only one that comments on this. I commented on this a few months ago. And like I says,
Yeah,
this,
I got two now, okay.
come on, Carl.
I got two only.
Yeah, because you haven't opened it up to the public yet. And that's what I said in the past. I says, why don't you, before you move ahead with this, have a public hearing and put out all the facts about what's going on up there before you move ahead with even considering the purchase of that property. Nobody knows the facts. How can you comment if nobody knows the facts about it? That's why you have a public hearing. This is going to cost
Well, that's why you have
taxpayers
a-
a lot of money over the years to expand that cemetery. But the development of roads and everything else, it's not cheap, Carl, and you know that.
That's why.
And
you have-
nobody would want to look out their window and look at a cemetery, even up at the school. You think those people want to look at a cemetery at the school?
I'll tell you right now, if anybody out in the public, on TV land, up on a computer, have any objections to adding on to the cemetery, below the cemetery that we have now or above the cemetery, please contact City Hall, myself, or any counselor.
That's not good enough. That's got to be posted in the paper so people have a chance to see it. And then it's set up the hearing, and Brian knows the rules on that. There's so many days before, it has to be in the paper, whatever. Let's let the public decide, not 3 or 4 councilmen. It only takes 3, well, it takes 4 to land purchase, but, let the people give you input so that you can make a decision for the community, not just because 3 or 4 people decide this.
3 or 4 people set the levy of $3 million with hardly any input at all.
Well, I was here, wasn't I? I was here at every meeting that I was allowed to come to.
So why you would be objecting to that?
Well,
too?
why wouldn't you at least put it out there, Carl? What do you have to lose?
I hear somebody in the background noise. Who's talking? That's not true. Who said that? That's not true. Who said that? Somebody said that. That's not true. I don't know.
Pay for an expansion on it until you've looked at the other alternatives. And I gave you alternatives before in the past to take out some of those roads and bore site that one quadrant. And then once you find out about that, that it's not usable or whatever, then you can explore this 8 acres that is overpriced and it's right next to people. I wouldn't want to look out my window either at a cemetery.
There is no private meeting. Everything is fine and above board. The legal counsel has told you so. He said legal. He's talking legal. He doesn't talk ethical. Legal. Yeah. Anybody else in the public have anything to discuss with the council? On Zoom or on phone? All right, we're moving on. Okay, we have additions to the agenda. We have motion to send a letter of request for support to the north of support of the Northeast Minnesota Mine Tour Project to the IIIRB and authorize a $1,000 donation to this project. We talked about it at an earlier meeting. Any more discussion on that? Need be? So can you hear a motion to go ahead and
I'll make a motion for the $1,000 donation.
the letter of support be written and sent to the IIIRB?
Yes.
Moved by Councilor Skinsich, supported by
I'll support.
Councilor Pulis. Any more discussion? City of Gilbert authorizes the city staff to send a letter of support signed by the mayor to IIIRB on behalf of the council, on behalf of supporting the Northeast Minnesota Mine Tour Project, and with our donation of $1,000 for this project. All right, Councilor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Thank you for coming and nice presentation and good luck. Yep. Next, we have approval authorizing the city attorney and city clerk to negotiate with Wendy Flanagan for campground host position. And everything, hiring of this position is contingent upon the city council approving the negotiations that will be coming back to the council by the clerk and the city councilor attorney.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Skinsich. Any more discussion? Again, everything contingent upon proper negotiations and finalized by a vote of the council. Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries. All right, agenda additions are done. All right, councilors report, mayor report. Councilors have anything? Councilors Pulis.
The only thing I'm gonna add to the whole cemetery thing is right now, I don't think it's a top priority in Gilbert, so that's just my input.
All right, thank you. Councilor Skinsich.
Nothing at this time.
Councilor Heitzman.
Nothing at this time, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Okay, I guess I gotta say something. Again, we're kicking a can down. City of Gilbert needs land for cemetery. Let's get this thing straightened out. We're running out of room up there, according to our city crews. And we're not like a year or two, something in that area. Okay, we got some land to work with. If that goes away, I don't know where you're gonna go. Go down to Lake Orbegon, go up to school, go somewhere else. But I don't know why we won't go around around the cemetery where we're at now. Okay, but what do you got?
That's where a public information would come in handy. Because you say, you know, you don't know what else you're gonna do.
I'm on TV here. Public, people are watching it. They're gonna
Yeah,
come back
okay.
and talk.
But you know what Biwabic did? They closed down the cemetery to outsiders, people that aren't residents of the town, because they were running out of room. You gotta look at those options too, Carl. And that could be brought out at a public hearing, and that's what you
People-
need to do.
Our city staff are saying we're running out of room in the cemetery.
Exactly right. So was Biwabic. That's why they closed it down to non-residents.
Can do that too, I
Yeah,
guess.
there you go. Bring it out at a public hearing so everybody has a chat.
That's why you have a city council to work on these things. That's why the city council has directed staff to negotiate with somebody's offered a piece of property next door for expansion of the cemetery. What's wrong with that? There's a lot of different solutions to the problem. And the city council is working on it. Now, if everybody in Gilbert wants to get involved, fine, send a letter, call, do something. If everybody wants to get involved, go right ahead. It's still, we will take everything under consideration, but I don't see what the big problem is, right, really, up there. Without, yeah. We're looking at it right now up there. Everybody. Let's get something done. Well, you're gonna have Lake Orbegon, you got 40 acres down there. You got school, you'll have property up there, up maybe the football field will be a good cemetery. Something good for you. Or close it down. Yeah, let's just close the city, close the cemetery down. Yeah. I tell you what, honest to God, the stuff I gotta deal with down here, unbelievable. Anyway, everything else is going good in the city. City crew's working good. They got some overtime, some snow, hopefully no more snow. We had some water breaks. Sam, question, is he still here? I'm kind
Oh,
of
yeah, I'm
concerned.
here.
I'm kind of concerned about that water break you had down on Indiana Avenue. I was could ask you this question outside of the meeting, but I'm gonna ask you now, does that have something to do with John, with the job that was done down in that area this summer?
No,
Is it something different?
it's, that pipe is, I was just talking to Jim today about that pipe. That pipe has been an issue since I started here. We've had, probably 3-4 breaks on that line. And, it's not that long of a line. It goes from, Indiana Avenue there up to right around behind the liquor store there. It's what, about 150 feet to 200 feet long. That's old 4-inch. I believe that was a dead end line at one time. And then when they did the expansion down there on Dakota Avenue, and maybe John might know when they did that expansion. I don't know if that was in the late 90s or early 2000s. I think it was about late 90s, I would say. They extended that water line around. That's when they made all those lots on Dakota Avenue East there, and they came in and tied into that one. But we never went out to Indiana Avenue with that new water line. They just ended it, or they just tied it in there, and that would be a nice project here, either to add on or in the future to redo that water line. It's just one of those ones that are known issues. So
With this phase 2, isn't it from the main street down to the alley it's supposed to get done? Or wasn't it done?
not in this area. This area doesn't go up to the main street. This area goes in a parallel with the This one goes parallel with the alleys. So it doesn't go up to Main Street. The sewer went up to Main Street, but this one didn't. The water line did not.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that clears it up. Thank you.
Yep.
All right. City Attorney. Oh, and Counselor Heitzman. I forgot, Counselor Heitzman. Counselor Heitzman, did you have something?
No, sir.
Oh, thank you. All right, City Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor. No formal report, but I'm happy to field any questions the council may have.
All right, anybody got any questions for City Attorney? Hearing none, seeing none. City Engineer, John Jamnick.
Just a couple updates. Looks like we're gonna be taking rebids on the water tank around April 1st. That's gonna be advertised. So we're going through the process with KLM to do the rebid and get new bids around April 1st. That's just for information for the council. And I did speak with the IRRB today, and I was gonna follow on Jim with some details, but they got a very positive response on our draft campground application. Gonna follow up with some more formal details, but trying to get that wrapped up for a summer, early fall construction project at the campground. That's all I have at this time.
Okay, thank you, John. Anybody got anything else for John? John, well, I can ask you when we take a tour down at that. When we get the tours down at that end of town, I'll ask you that question. We're gonna have a tour this spring of what's been done down on Main Street down there by the council. I don't know if we can all do it at one time or not. Let's see, Counselor.
You could declare a working session. You could call a working session and
Go
then
down there, take a recess and go, or not a recess, just do it on the fly.
you could just give notice that the working session is going to be a tour of facilities or grounds, and then
Very good. Sounds good.
the public could meet with everybody and travel along if they'd like to.
Very good, thank you. And that's what we'll do then, as soon as we get good weather in April or sometime, early May. All right, anything else for John? All right, Police Chief, Ty Teacher.
Hey, Mayor, Council, I have nothing at this time.
Anything else, anything by the council for Mr. Teacher, Chief Teacher? Okay, John, I just, council might want to know, Ty was telling me that we okayed a car last year and we okayed a car for this year's budget, and none of these cars are close to even getting here. So either one, right, Ty?
Correct. I believe we're 13,500 on the list for the first car, and I couldn't tell you what the second car would be.
Well, we okayed two cars and we can't even get them.
Yeah, our first order was 2 years ago, so we're still trying to work our way through it, so.
I've got a Fusion you can use.
But then we ordered this local? We ordered this local.
Correct, yes, we went through Washki's.
Okay, I just want to inform the council on that, where that's at, okay? Thank you. All right, so I hear some background music. Somebody's watching the game or something. Public Works Director, Sam Lotiger. Sam here? That was probably him.
Here I'm talking and nobody's listening. I had
Okay.
it on mute.
Oh.
I guess I did not know Mark. I forgot Mark was going to be via Zoom, but I got some quotes. I got two quotes for the LVL meter. I haven't done too much research. I know Tara's talked to each one a little bit. One quote came in at $6,700 or $6,710, and the other one came in at $6,512.35. I don't know which one is better. I don't know which, I didn't get that far to decipher which one is the best out of it. I don't know if council would, you know, give me a not to exceed $7,000, and I would be purchasing one of these meters here in front of you. I know, Mark, you don't have that paperwork. This is paperwork I handed out right before the meeting. I don't know.
The Viking and Logic, Utility Logic, Viking, right there, right?
Yep. There would be, yeah, there's a Utility Logic one and then the Viking quote.
$200 difference between them, so.
Right. And I don't know which one is better. I didn't get a chance to make any phone calls. We just got this Utility Logic quote here at about 2:00 today, so I don't know. Like I say, I would like to do a little bit of research, and if you guys would just allow me to spend up to $7,000, I'd buy one of these two, whichever depended on fitting us the best.
Maybe an easy way to do it, okay, him to spend $7,000 and buy one for $7,000 and buy it where he wants it.
I'll make a motion for.
Excuse me, Mayor. I had just one question for Sam. Sam, does this include training and how to use this meter?
Well, and that's I know they do send CDs with them. I didn't get a chance to talk to this guy from Utility Logic. He's one we've bought a few items for before. He's pretty good. He usually comes up and trains us and whatnot on anything we've had before. And that's where I want to talk to him a little bit more. And I didn't get that chance to. Viking, this Viking quote was more of just a distributor. You call them up, they give you a meter. I'm sure they have some tech areas where we could call, but that's where I wanted to find out that this Utility Logic, this Joe Rapelke we've dealt with before, would come up and train us on that and whatnot. But I believe they do have CDs and online, stuff you could look at for training.
Okay, Councilor Skenzich, you were gonna make a motion?
I'll make a motion, I guess, to approve Sam up to $7,000. Not to exceed except $7,000 for, I guess, whichever gas meter works out the best for our situation in town here.
Okay, motion by
I'll support that.
motion by Councilor Skenzich, support by Councilor Heitzman to authorize the Public Works Director Sam Lotiger to spend up to $7,000 in the purchase of this LEL gas meter to find the exhaust gas from the sewer manholes to hunt down people that are dumping down the drains illegal substances. So a good piece of equipment that the city crew would need. Any more discussion on that? Councilor Spillis.
To me, it seems like, I know we want to give them a okay to spend the $7,000, but it seems like there's a lot of questions here, and I would prefer to just wait till the next council meeting when we've all had a chance to maybe do some research on this, but that's just my opinion.
I know, Councilor Spillis, you have some things happening in job and other things, but we've been talking about this for the last couple of meetings already here. Because about 3 weeks ago now, we had a spill down there. If you look at the bill in the back, it costed us $20-some thousand altogether to clean up this spill of a substance that is not supposed to be drained, dumped down our city sewer system. It was $13,000 to OSI to pump tankers of that stuff out of here, and another $7,000 for another. Can't remember what expense that was for, but we were talking, Sam was thinking, he had to, I don't know, he had to use this from the state of Minnesota, this meter, or he had to rent this meter or something. And if he wish he would have had one of our own instead of borrowing, he borrowed it from somewhere.
And the
But-
alternative.
Yeah, they came up from Brainerd, to come and sniff the manholes.
Yeah.
You know, and that's, they don't borrow it out. They come up when we would call them. And, you know, sometimes they are available, sometimes they're not.
Was
You
that
know,
the $7,000 that we had to rent there, Jim? And we're gonna buy one.
no, it shouldn't have been the $7,000 rental.
Commissioner
So I
Bob.
have a little more feedback or questions, Mr. Mayor.
Councilor Heisman.
Sam, you mentioned that Utility Logic already supplies the city with some equipment. Is that,
Yeah,
did I hear that right?
I think he's the one who supplied us with a couple of our VOC meters down at the sewer plant. Some of our air monitoring meters. And then I believe he was the one who supplied us with our camera, our sewer camera. That's where we got our sewer camera from, and he did a good training, and he was able to come up at any time to show us how to use it. So yeah, I've had really good luck with this Joe on very different levels of stuff. So
I like to hear that, and I like to hear that you're getting support from him. That's got to be factored in. The other question that I have is how frequently do these units need calibration, and is that something that he's going to have to do, that you're going to have to do? Is it, semi-annually?
no,
So those are, and I don't need to know the answer to that. I just want that to be part of your decision making. Is he going to be able to assist in that?
Right. Yes, it would be. There is calibration equipment included in the price here, so we can calibrate it. So yeah, there is.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam.
Yep.
Mayor, I got one thing.
Councilor Skansich.
I'll go off kind of what Mark was saying. Yeah, I know you don't have the quote, Mark, but yeah, everything's included there. And I see on this one from Utility Logic, like you're saying, Sam, the manual and the CD come with that. I know there's not a whole lot to doing. They call them bump tests, whatever, calibration.
Right.
But
yeah, there's just a few more questions that I couldn't answer to the council. And, it's up to you guys if you want to go through with it or just table it. It doesn't matter to me none. I'm going to try to do the best for the city here. So,
Commissioner Bob, you got something?
Yeah, I think that meter's a good idea. But I'd also like to add that when this spill happened, a month and a half ago or whatever, I was talking to Ty about it. And he did mention, he says, well, maybe we should offer a reward. And I thought about that, and I think that is a good idea, because that might loosen up some lips. If you offer a $10,000, you paid what, $20,000 for the last one? You offer a $10,000 reward if somebody gets prosecuted and is found guilty for it. And I think that might loosen up some lips.
That's a good idea. I like that.
I know it was 13, and I know that 7 from A1 services. I don't know if that had to do with that area too or something else. But
the A1 is probably something else.
yeah. But 13 was OSI. That was down there, right?
Yep.
I have people telling me there was tankers down there steady. You were sucking all that stuff up. Oh. Anyways, Joe, that's what did you know about that, Joe? That diesel spill down there? Yeah. Any more discussion on that? We have a motion as a second. We have discussion on it. Councilor Skansich, how do you vote?
aye.
Councilor Heisman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Motion carries 4-0. Okay, Sam, you can buy it.
Thank you. The meter change order request. This is something that has come up after I made a list of all those meters. I sent them off with Kirk. Kirk gave them to the meter guy that's providing the meters down there, and he went through the list of what I had listed down there for different types of meters. And this is the difference of costs on some meters. So we had like, you know, a total of, what is it? I think it came out to be 10 meters. I gotta find a paper. Okay. So when John figured this in, he figured for all like 2S meters, and that's a normal house meter is a 2S meter. So what we did is they took the 10 form 2S's, deducted that $90, and he had to add 5 form 2SEs and 5 form 4S's, you know, and each one of those meters are a different price. So it was the one meter, the SE was what, $47 more, and the form 4S is about what, $100 more. So I think the $679 is the difference they're looking for in order to buy these 2 types of form meters. So that would be the change in contract. That's why we're bringing it forward. So we're looking for the council to approve $679.10 for this change order. If you kind of get that, what I explained.
Yeah. I recommend council go ahead and authorize that change order to look at additional 679.10.
I'll
I'll support.
Motion by Councillor Skansich, supported by Councillor Pulis to add the change order, authorize the change order of this contract with Core Main, an additional $679.10 to accommodate the issues addressed here in this letter. So, any more discussion? Councillor Skansich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Heisman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. I tell you what, this is really cool. You got a guy in Washington. I wish, you know, in the past, I've had many times I needed another vote on sitting up here. And if I could have given somebody a computer at home, this is really cool, Mark. That's good. I'm glad. And thank you for getting on board and on your vacation out there. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll only last as long as my mom's Wi-Fi holds out. So there you go.
Okay. All right. We'll have to get going there then. Yeah. Motion carries 4-0. You got that? Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
What else you got?
The other thing is I'd like to get approval to look for, I guess I'm looking for to hire a student worker. We've had student workers in the past up from Vermilion College for sewer plant work. And we typically hire them kind of the same time we hire the summer students. We have to do the hiring process a little bit ahead of time if we're able to get funding from the college up there. And then the college pays for so much of the worker, and then the city pays the other percentage of the worker. And I think there's so many days, you know, there might be like a 50-day or 100 days that the college pays, and then the city will pick up the rest. So I was just looking to get council approval for us to see if we can get to hire a summer student for the water and sewer plant, you know, is what I was looking for.
That's a normal procedure here for many years. I know that. And last year you couldn't do it because of COVID. The school did not allow anybody to go anywhere.
Yep.
And that's changed, I guess. This, Sam,
I guess, I know we were contacted by one person. She's a student from up there. I know Tara had, emailed the school to find out what the process is and how to get this hired. Yeah, I know we did try it last year, but the school was not doing the summer stuff program. So that's why I'm bringing it forward now to see if I can get approval for to hire or to put out there for hiring a summer student for the wastewater plant. And obviously I would bring the person or persons that apply for approval to the council.
it's like an apprenticeship program or student teaching program. It helps the student and it helps the city at the same time. So,
Yep.
right?
Yes, yes, it does. I know the last person we had was Cassie. I can't remember her last name. Very good worker. She worked out great for us. She helped tremendously throughout the summer months, while everybody's taking vacation and whatnot, weed whacking. There's just many different part of the processes that these summer students can help out.
I recommend we go ahead and authorize Sam to go ahead with this.
I'll move. I'll support.
Motion by Counselor Scannell, supported by Counselor Pulis to authorize Public Works Director Sam Lotiger to proceed with hiring a water and wastewater summer student to be brought to the council when it's ready, when he's ready.
And obviously, council, I think the going rate and what the rate has been for some years now is $10 an hour is what we've been doing. I would be on board to stay with that if council is okay with that.
Well, might change in a couple months to $15 an hour. So.
Yeah, I know. So I think we're still above the minimum wage law, but so.
Is there a total number of hours in mind for this, Sam?
Normally we do 67 shifts or 60 shifts, so they're not in the union is what we've been doing. So they wouldn't get any more than 60 to 65 shifts. That's what we go by. As far as the credentials on how much the school pays for, I do not have that number. That was one of the numbers I was going to ask the school for, to see what they pay for, because I know they pay for so much, when they're hired through the school. So, but I can have that information at the next council meeting too for you guys. I hope to get it here. So.
But we're going to authorize you to go ahead with this process. Okay,
Yep.
But I see, Jim, you had a question?
Just to clarify, the state's minimum wage is just a hair over $10 an hour now with the inflation rule that they put in place a few years ago. So I think it's like 10.06 or 10.08. But we'll make sure that as we go forward, the council's aware what the minimum wage is and what we are paying people.
Correct. Okay, thank you. All right, we're just authorizing you to go ahead and bring somebody to our for okay. All right, Sam.
Yes.
Councillor Skenzich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councillor Pulis.
Aye.
Councillor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Overster, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Anything else, Sam?
No, I do not have anything else unless council has any questions for me.
Any questions? How's the skid steer? You got a skid steer yet or not?
I demoed one a couple months ago, and I've been waiting for another demo from another company, but he seems to have trouble finding a demo model, so I've been waiting on that. So I did demo one, and it's new, like anything new, it's different. So, but I wanted to try this other brand, so just kind of waiting.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been dealing with that for the last month and a half or so. So
Well, as long
I'm
as you're
working on it.
As long as you're having fun demo piece of equipment, what about doing some more demo of bigger equipment too? So,
Yeah, it's tough for the,
Snow
I'll
blowers.
try.
Snow blowers before the snow goes away.
I'll find out if I can demo any.
As long as you're demoing, so you can get ready for a budget for next year. All right?
Okay. Yep.
All right. All right. Any more council questions for Sam? All right. Public Library Director Sue, is she on?
Sue is absent with notice, Mayor.
All right. Sue's absent. All right. Executive Administrative Clerk, Mr. Paulson, Jim.
Thank you, Mayor. Council, in your packet is the expense and revenue report, the budget fund summary. This report's a little different than the one we've included in the past. And as I put it in the packet and I was looking at it, it's nice because it's one page, whereas the other one's about 10. But this one kind of gets us in the ballpark. The other report, it gets us a little bit closer to where we are. So the council's aware. This is a little different report. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm going to go back to the other report in the subsequent months. So just want to make the council aware why it looked a little bit different than it has in the past.
Boy, this one looks like the one I've seen 20 years ago.
Yeah, the other one's a little more detailed, and I like the other one a little bit better. So thought we'd try this, but just don't like it as well. So
I appreciate the report either way.
So everything else, Mayor, is just agenda items. Thank you.
I know it's January, that's typical, normal months, once upon a time it was, really, January, but I know everything comes right away and then it levels off the other months. So these are all budgeted, except for that stuff at the sewer plant wasn't budgeted. All right, any questions for Jim by the council? And we have nobody in the audience or the phone or anything that is trying to get on board on anything, right? All right, okay. Acknowledgement of board and commission minutes. We have the Water and Light Board meeting minutes of December 17th, 2020. I thought we had done this already, but apparently not. Moved by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Skinsich to approve the minutes of the Water and Light Board meeting of Thursday, December 17th, 2020. Any more discussion? Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Skinsich.
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. No recommendations on that. Then we have the Evelyn Fail Gilbert School District Joint Powers Recreation Board minutes of February 10th, 2021.
I'll support.
Moved by Councilor Skinsich, supported by Councilor Heitzman. Any more discussion? Councilor Skinsich, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman.
Aye.
Councilor Pulis.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Wastewater treatment plant update. Anybody got anything to update us on?
Yes, the only thing I got is we had some issues down at the plant, I think a couple last week. Seemed like one of the filtration wasn't getting enough food, so it ended up foaming up over, and Tara added some sugar to it to add some more food, and we got her back running good. So it's the only thing we've had issues down there, other than ongoing stuff with talks with Scantech on getting that change order. The change order list, they're looking at getting prices for those so we could bring them back to council. And then just kind of day-to-day stuff going on where we got some warranty issues that keep popping up here and there. So they're working on them.
You were talking about that Magni work. that stuff
Yep.
that's on the punch list, but I guess somebody decided this is extra work and not project work. And so it's kind of like you're going out for getting this job done, right? Not on the main sewer project, I guess.
Well, this was stuff,
Change order.
yeah, this was stuff that Ron put on the list when we would bring it up. Different issues we thought should have been taken care of right away through change orders or prices, whatnot. But Ron was always concerned about getting the plant up and running and making sure it operates good, I guess, before he started looking at the change orders. And that's why he made 3 lists from my understanding. One was the old Vivo warranty, one was the warranty work, and then the other one was the change order work. So that's what we've asked Justin now from Scantech to do, is let's look at those change order lists. There's some issues that I know some of them are safety issues, some of them are what would it be, intake issues. There's just multiple of items that on that list. He did decipher on that list that I have what he thought the city's costs were and what the Scantech's costs were. So what I did is ask him is what are the costs for all of these, so then we could bring it forward to the council and discuss with you guys if this warrants a change order or not, is where that list is. So I'm hoping to talk to him tomorrow is our meeting, and we'll see where that list is, and when it's ready, with some prices, we'll bring it to council.
My only question, do you feel it needs to be done? I don't care if it's a change order, if it's something 2 years from now, without this being so close together, does it have to be done? One way or the other, does it have to be done?
I believe some of them do, yes. I believe, well, like I say, we brought them up. I always felt that they should all be done, but.
Okay, that's all I need to know. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
If you need it done, I'm okay. That's all I need to know.
I always looked at it, Mr. Mayor, as if it saves money in the long run, it might be worth it for the city to do it, to pay for it now versus having 2 operators doing this all the time when we could have 1 operator doing it, doing the job. So that's where, like I say, it's all got to be brought forward, and I'll explain everyone to you, and we'll go from there once we see the list. So
I'm just saying that I don't need to have it as a change order. I don't need to, if you have to contract it out, without being so close tied into this project, you know what I'm saying? If it needs to be done, you got to get done.
right.
Commissioner Ponton, you got something?
These upgrades, does it include the membranes that were supposed to be added to these also? Is that what you're discussing, or where does that set right now? Those additional membranes that were going to be added to each.
Yeah,
pond.
I don't have no clue where that's going right now, so.
No, this doesn't include those, Bob. This is just stuff, little items here and there, some great additional grading, safety stuff that we think should have, that should have been a change order when they were doing the construction. I guess is how I would word it. But this stuff we believe got left on the back burner because Ron was focusing his, towards the end there, his energy towards the, I guess, towards the operation of the filters and the issues we were having along that end. So he didn't bring none of these forward.
Okay. Anything else on wastewater treatment plant? Highway 37 update. Okay.
The only thing I got is we had the meeting, on the 8th, or is Jim gonna talk about this? Or I can, I mean, we had that
Yep,
meeting.
go ahead, Sam.
Oh,
Go ahead.
we had the meeting with Doug here and went over some deals with the Main Street project, and we're gonna have another meeting, on the 12th of March? No, can't see that far. 8th of March, I believe, is what the next scheduled meeting is for, here at City Hall.
Yeah. Leo, you got something?
Sam, question to you. I was down, I looked at the new light poles. There's 58 of them for your information. And they all have the brackets for the flags or whatever, but there's no brackets for the electrical. I was just wondering if you or somebody on the council knows how that's going to be handled. Is that going to be an extra cost, or is that included in the bid?
That should have been on there.
They should have
Yeah,
been on there, and they're not. They're all bare poles, and I believe they're stainless steel, and I'm just wondering how that's going to work. Because one of the requirements was to have electrical on all the poles that on the main street anyway. That's 40 poles.
Yeah, and maybe the electrical contractor is gonna do something, I don't know. We could bring it up to Doug here at our next meeting and go from there.
I think we should address that before they're put up. Thank you.
That was supposed to be all on there, so. All right, anything else on that wastewater treatment plant? Anyway, I just noticed now, Jimmy, I don't see you on a camera here. And I don't see Joe on a camera. So you guys want it that way?
Yeah. That's how I have mine set.
Okay, well, instead of looking at this, that empty desk, we just take the video off. People are watching on TV. Just looking at its microphone on Joe's. You know, if you don't want to be on a TV, that's fine. You can just take your video off. Huh?
Mine's on.
No. Okay. All right. Anything else? Moving on, DNR herbicide treatment. Request from the state of Minnesota. They found some kind of weed up there in that area that they need to correct with this herbicide. I don't know if maybe somebody can tell me. There's other private property people up there. I don't know if they contacted those folks. They should be contacted as well. They've contacting us now. City of Gilbert has some land up there that they're going to be doing some herbicide up in that area to kill some weed up there that's being a problem up there. And they won't be able to do any seeding up there unless that weed is under control. So they want to get our approval to go ahead and do that. Again, I don't know other property owners if they've contacted them or not, but all we're concerned right now is that we give the okay. Jim's been talking with them. Jim, you want to?
Thanks, Mayor. No, that was a very good summary you had, because we have a common property line. They need our permission to spray that herbicide. It would be done this summer from August 15th through September 10th with a helicopter. So, wind conditions and of course, weather conditions. That's why the date range is so wide. But that would allow them to, replant next year then, hopefully. So DNR is requesting city's permission to do that.
Recommend council go ahead and grant that permission.
I'll move.
I'll
I'll
support.
support.
I guess Mr. Mayor, I guess one thing I have is just a question for Jim. Maybe he can contact them, or, you know, I can contact them about this. I don't know how that herbicide falls or what. I know they sprayed out of a helicopter. We are going to be having, you know, our water tanks are up in that area. There's vents on them. Is there any chance of getting this herbicide in those vents, or could it get into the water tower any which way, would be my question to them. So I don't know if that's something Jim could email them on, or is that an issue we gotta have to look into?
Well, can we just block them vents up on the day, find out when they're coming and block them vents up?
No, the one is on top of the tower and I don't go up there. The other one, I could do I think I could do the one on the low tank, the reservoir, but you know, that's all I would wonder is what's their thought on that.
Sam, I'll set up a meeting with you and Corey Scourgeons from the DNR and ask those questions.
Okay, thank you.
I would ask them that this authorization be okay contingent upon we get our answer to this issue with the water tank, so we don't contaminate our water.
Correct.
All right. Favorable answer.
Mr. Mayor, if I may interject, and as you're going through and asking those questions, I know our property is not on that map. It is relatively close to that. Being that it's on a hillside, can we ask questions about how the rainwater and how that carries through properties? I'm just kind of concerned that if there is any pesticide or anything like that, what is that going to do to surrounding properties, even though they're not adjacent?
Add that on the list of asking questions for our city citizens that have private property also that are asking that question. Well, we have one property owner right there. And that's okay. We can ask that question for them. All right. So there's author. Again, we had the motion by Councilor Pulis, supported by Councilor Skansich, to authorize this spraying of herbicide by the state of DNR upon favorable answers to the questions at hand. And there was two of them, one with the water tank and one with the rain drainage of this stuff maybe into surrounding properties. What effect does that have, right? Okay, we're gonna ask that, all right? Paul?
Yeah,
All right.
that's great. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And if there's any other concerns between here and there, you bring them up, okay? Councilor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Councilor Skansich?
Aye.
Councilor Heitzman?
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. Everything is good. It all has to get done, and but we have to do it a correct way and a good way. So, all right. Seasonal utility disconnect policy. Oh boy, I gotta read something. All right, seasonal disconnect utility policy for consistency in charging of services. The seasonal disconnect policy is what is currently in practice. Do I have to read this? Is this already in practice? Everybody's seen this also? We don't have to reinstate this. It's already in there.
Correct. This is what the practice is. I could not find a formal written policy. So that's why I wanted to write the policy. So
you want this adopted?
Yes.
All right. You want us to formally adopt this policy? I have no problem with that. I recommend council go ahead and formally adopt this policy to be included. You have to codify this thing then?
No, it's not an ordinance change. It's just the business policy.
I'll move.
Motion by Counselor Pulis, supported by
I'll support.
Counselor Skinsich to adopt the proposed City of Gilbert utility disconnect for seasonal customers policy as given to us by our city administrator to be used from henceforth. Any more discussion? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Overseer, aye. Motion carries 4-0. First reading of ordinance 21-01 was introduced on February 9th. First reading is tonight. That's all I guess you can take a nap if you want. Not that long. So I'll read it and then that's all we're going to do tonight. And next meeting we'll have the second reading and vote, either adopt or not. And then it'll, depending on that, March 21st will take effect May 1st. It'll be published if it's passed. So anyway, new city ordinance number 2021-01. City of Gilbert, be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Gilbert, Minnesota as follows. Whereas, what does that little squiggly line mean?
It would be section, whereas section 93.2.
Yeah. Section 93.22 duties, thank you, of the city officers currently reads as follows. Section 93.22 duties of city officers. A, for the purposes of section 93.22 and 93.23, the police department or sheriff or person designated by the city council under this code, if the city has at the time no police department, may enforce the provisions relating to nuisances. B, any peace officer or designated person shall have the power to inspect private premises and take all reasonable precautions to prevent the commission and maintenance of public nuisances. C, except in emergency situations of imminent danger to human life and safety, no police officer or designated person shall enter private property for the purpose of inspecting or preventing public nuisances without the permission of the owner, resident, or other person in control of the property, unless the officer or person has designated has obtained a warrant or order from a court of competent jurisdiction authorizing the entry as provided in this code. And whereas said section shall be amended to read as follow. Section 93.22 duties of the city officers. For A, for purposes of section 93.22 and 93.23, the police department or a person committee task force designated by the city council under this code may enforce the provisions relating to nuisances, provided, however, that if the city council authorizes a person committee task force under this provision, the individual or group shall work cooperatively with the police department in discharging their authority. B, any peace officer or designated person shall have the power to inspect private premises and take all reasonable precautions to prevent the commission and maintenance of public nuisances and to enforce the city code related to blighted or nuisances conditions. C, except in emergency situations of imminent danger to human life and safety, no police officer or designated person committee task force shall enter private property for the purpose of inspecting or preventing public nuisances without the permission of the owner, resident, or the person in the control of the property unless the officer or person designated has obtained a warrant or order from a court of competent jurisdiction authorizing the entry as provided in this code. All other provisions of the Gilbert City Code, Chapter 93, shall remain as currently in existence and not amended except as specifically identified herein, and said amendment shall be effective immediately upon its passage. That's been a first reading, and the second reading will be March 9th. Any miscellaneous? None? No miscellaneous, all right. Approve the payroll of audit of the payroll, bills and payroll bond audit of clerk and the mayor.
I'll move. Support.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Skinsich to approve the payment of the bills and payroll upon the proper audit by the clerk and the mayor. Any more discussion? Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. No other further business. We can adjourn.
I'll move.
I'll support.
Moved by Counselor Pulis, supported by Counselor Heitzman to adjourn at 7:32. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Counselor Pulis, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Heitzman, how do you vote?
Aye.
Counselor Skinsich.
Aye.
Mayor Oberstar, aye. Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned at 7:32. Good night. Thank you for coming.